guys, Anbu Anime back with another Naruto What If video. In this video we'll be doing What If Naruto Never Became Hokage. So this scenario will start off right after the battle against Kaguya. We're going to say that Naruto dies from his injuries while fighting Kaguya, so the final battle between Naruto and Sasuke never takes place. Although Kakashi and Sakura would be extremely sad, I think Sasuke would take this time and opportunity to claim power as the new Hokage of the Hidden Leaf, as Kakashi and Sakura at this moment don't have the capabilities to stop him, and so does anyone else in the Hidden Leaf village. So I think he'll take this moment to become the Hokage. So the first thing he'd do with his position as Hokage would be to capture all the tail beasts just like he did at the end of the war and keep them prisoner. This way he wouldn't have to distribute them to any of the nations, and he'd probably keep them to himself or release them back into the wild. Wherever the case, he won't let any other nations get to them. So as soon as he get back to the village, I think he'd get right to work with rebuilding the village. I think he wouldn't be a very direct and open Hokage. He'd mostly work from the shadows, just like he's always said he would, and he'd follow in the footsteps of Itachi. Create a type of shadow Anbu who would deal with any problems and would mostly do undercover work, kind of like the Root, but actually would accomplish things. He would also face a general disapproval from the villagers, and this was mostly due to him being part of the Akatsuki and also being a rogue shinobi for most of his life. So I think he would at the beginning face a general disapproval. There might be a revolt, or there might be protests against Sasuke. These revolts and protests would end pretty quickly. I think he'd use his Shadow Anbu to kind of quell the rebellion by either taking care of the leaders of these protests and rebellions, or just kind of silencing them quietly, but I don't think they last too long. So Sasuke would get right on to rebuilding the village the best he can. I think he'd hire Shikamaru as his advisor. Even though Shikamaru has said in the past that he doesn't like Sasuke, I think they both recognize that they need each other to rebuild the village, as they both have the village's best interest in mind. I think within a year, Sasuke would prove himself as a capable Hokage, because not only is he powerful enough to kind of protect the village, but I also think he does have the village's best interest in mind. And although he might not have the highest approval rating from the village, he really will get things done. He will rebuild things to the best of his abilities. He will hire the right people to accomplish the right things, just like as he'd hire Shikamaru, and he'd bring in people such as the bridge builder to rebuild the village. He just make sure to get the right people to get the job done. So within a year, I think the village will be mostly rebuilt, as in not that it was destroyed, but I mean it'd be modernized just like it is in Boruto. I also believe that the ninjas have to rebuild, and I think Sasuke would also take great strides to rebuild the education system in the Hidden Leaf, and I think he'd put more emphasis on shinobi training. So I think he'd kind of upgrade the training system they already had in the Hidden Leaf. Within a year, I think the Hidden Leaf, as well as the other villages, will be rebuilt. And since Sasuke kind of tried to kill all the Kage during the 5 Kage summit, I think they still will have a lot of beef with him, and they will try not necessarily attack the Hidden Leaf village, because they know they can't take Sasuke on by himself, just like Naruto has stated during Boruto, that there is no shinobi in the world that can stand up against Sasuke, and that is basically true. I mean, a combined effort could work, but it's just not worth it for the villages, so I don't think they do any sort of direct attack or do any open hostilities, but I think what they will do is they will use espionage to steal jutsu and info on the Hidden Leaf village, just as the Hidden Cloud village used to do right before the 4th Great Shinobi War, and just like those 2 Cloud ninjas tried to assassinate Hinata, stuff like that. They wouldn't do any direct attack, but they try and steal jutsu, they try and get info on the Hidden Leaf. Now, Sasuke's Shadow Anbu would intercept this, and just like the Root did, is he'd have those people assassinate those in charge of this espionage. So not necessarily assassinate high level leaders in opposing villages, but assassinate the people in charge of these operations, and that way he kind of quell it. And the other villages begrudgingly wouldn't launch an all-out war, although there would be a lot of political hostilities. I don't believe that this would lead out to an all-out conflict. I think this just kind of quell the espionage, and if anything, I think Sasuke would launch his own espionage on other nations and try and gather information, and this would be mostly like a Cold War, with no action actually being taken, because at least against the Hidden Leaf, they know, the other nations know, they really realistically can't do anything to harm the leaf. I think the political landscape between the villages would be very rocky, but basically I don't think there'd be any great war, at least with the Hidden Leaf involved. And although the Hidden Leaf won't have any great political allies other than maybe the Hidden Sand, because Sasuke and Gaara kind of have a mutual understanding and they already had their pre-existing alliance, I think the Hidden Leaf Village will remain the center of power in the Shinobi world. And I do think there'd be more conflicts than during Naruto's reign, but I still think the Hidden Leaf would be a rather peaceful village, at least on the outside, and there wouldn't be any huge political or military conflicts being taken in the world of Naruto. I do think Sasuke would realize just how much Naruto cared for him. I think he's known all along, and I think his death will push him to become a better person, which will greatly influence his reign as Hokage. I also believe he will commemorate Naruto with a sort of statue or something, and just like he'd really reflect on his friend's life, and I think he'd become sad, like more and more sad on how his friend died and how he mistreated his friend during like his years, like while he was still alive, and I think he would wish to have his friend back, and I think that would push him to be a much more caring Hokage. And although he still will work from the shadows, I think he will learn to love the villagers and treat them with respect and really just care for them and be a great Hokage. And I think he'd continue to carry the same ideals that Itachi used to. I don't think Sasuke will be Kage for an insane amount of time. I think he might have a shorter Kage period, just like Kakashi, as he may grow up, well, not bored of being Hokage, but I don't think he would see himself as the type of man who wants to keep the position forever, and might do what he does currently in Boruto and protect the Hidden Leaf from external threats, and maybe put, I don't know if Shikamaru wouldn't want to be Kage, but maybe someone he trusts. I don't know who it might be, but it would be someone he trusts, maybe like Konohamaru. I don't know, he might be Kage in Boruto. But I do believe eventually he will leave his position as Hokage and protect the village from the outside. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any suggestions or you think Sasuke would do things differently, please leave your opinions in the comments below, and I may make a part 2 to this if you guys enjoy it, or just remake the whole video if you think it would happen completely differently and it makes sense that it would happen completely differently. So again, thank you all for watching and have a wonderful day.